Let's introduce our new isopods and see how we set up their enclosures. Hello everyone, welcome back to Spooderpods. I am Dave and today we are introducing our isopods that we got back in the bug show a while back and talking through how we did their enclosures. As usual, I'll give you a little bit of information about them and then we'll see their enclosure setups. For a couple of them, they are only temporary, but for one, that's going to be their enclosure for quite a while until obviously the colony grows and they get much bigger. So let's start off with my Christ Armadillium Maculatum. That's a mouthful to pronounce, and they are just commonly known as European spiky isopods. I picked them up because I've been wanting a small colony of these for ages, and I really love just how they look like almost aliens with spiky exteriors, and they tend to come in oranges or yellows. So I picked up a very small colony when I was at the bug show, because I couldn't help myself really, and I did something a bit different for them. I popped them into an enclosure which looks like this. Now you may recognise these from previous videos. These are like the terrestrial starter enclosures from Invertebrates, and because the colony I only got was like 5 to 7, I can't remember if there was a couple of babies and some larger ones, I thought it'd be a great sort of place to get them started, because as you know from previous videos, many isopods tend to breed quicker when they have a little bit less space. Obviously not so little space that it's bad for their welfare, but just a little bit less space to explore, and that's what I thought would be perfect with these. It's also the fact that they seem to like a little bit extra humidity in their environment, and there is argument between this because they come from different parts of Spain. So some people say more humidity, some say less, so I'm going to go for the middle ground as usual and give them a little bit more like my Panda Kings, monitor them and see how they get on and where they gravitate to in their enclosure. So if all huddled into the dry area, I know it's too humid. But yeah, I went for something very simple. I literally just did the usual, made sure I had some springtails in there, nice deep substrate, places for them to hide, lots of places for them to eat, like little leaf litter and stuff, and then a hydration area on one side, just miniaturized into that tiny little cube. And so far so good, they're doing fine, haven't had any casualties, which is always good to see when you're experimenting. And I'm really hoping they're going to breed, because I'd love to expand the colony and get them into a bigger enclosure and just see them running around at those big spiky exteriors. They remind me of little dinosaurs basically. Now me being me, I couldn't help but pick myself up some more Porcellio laevis. I don't know why, because our dairy cows breed like crazy, but I saw some orange ones. It was the last one on the table towards the end of the show, and they were just only £2 and they were just left there, and I just felt, did I feel sorry for them or just buy them because I'm me? I don't know. But I picked up some orange Porcellio laevis because they're a very active, very cool species. Now for these guys, I couldn't get away with what I did with the Christ Armadilliums. I put them in a 15 by 10 terrestrial critter keeper from Ento, and there are only 10 of them at the moment. Some are quite large, some are quite small. I'm expecting them to breed reasonably quickly because that's what they asked, and I'll upgrade them. But for now, they're just in this size enclosure. I put some footage on the screen for you so you can see exactly how I set it up. As usual, I just went for a nice depth of substrate, a hydration area. These guys like it a little bit drier, so a bit more of a gradient. A feeding bowl, because they're very greedy. Some pods for them to eat and use as hides. And just some leaf litter and other bits and pieces. Now you may see some footage without leaf litter. I always take that just so you can see what it looks like before I pop it in. But as for these guys, these Porcellio laevis are always active, and the orange colour is very pretty. They also get slightly bigger than dairy cows. I think that's maybe anecdotal because obviously they're the same, but they are very cool to observe and very active. It is cool to have different colours of isopods. It's like a bit like Pokemon, you've got to catch them all. And they've settled in very well. I haven't given them an extra protein yet because I kind of want them to take a little bit longer to breed, unlike the the spiky isopods, but I'm happy when they do. Yeah, I don't want to have an explosive colony like my dairy cows. I actually want to give dairy cows away because they breed too quickly, and we don't have space for like a huge enclosure for them either. Maybe I should set up my own isopod business or something in the future selling them, I don't know. But yeah, we got some laevis and they're very cute and they're doing very well. Now finally for my new isopods, we got some Armadillium klugi, and they're commonly called clown isopods. Mostly due to I'm not quite sure the clown pattern, maybe because they've got that funny pattern on their back, but it's a really cool coloration. They're quite active isopod species. They're kind of intermediate breeders from what I can read. They don't always breed quickly, but sometimes they do. Depends on the environmental setup obviously, but I really loved the appearance of them. My partner really likes them as well, and she was very keen to get some at the show, so we picked some up. And the colony's doing well so far since I sort of got them and filmed this video. I set them up in a similar one to laevis with a 15 by 10 by 10 terrestrial. This will be upgraded if they breed obviously, because I want them to have space, but again, these smaller enclosures do encourage breeding and they're a little bit easier to sort of fit in around the collection. With regards to temperament and behaviour, I don't know too much about Klugi here. Some people have told me that they're bitey, but I've only ever had that from my scabers. Other people have told me they can be quite shy, although mine are on display most of the time so far. So I went with the usual of setting up their enclosure, just generic Isopod, nice deep substrate, hydration area, a little bit more of a gradient than I did with the Lavis. Lots of places to hide, leaf litter once I set it up. I think I put a golden feeding dish in them because, you know, why not? And a little bit of scenery for them to enjoy, and they've been fine in there. Again, no protein yet. I want to see how they settle in. In fact, tomorrow is going to be the first day I actually give them any vegetables. And there's no cruelty here, by the way. It's not been that long since I got them when I'm filming these. And then we'll see how things go and how they get on, just to gauge how much I should be feeding them, what the temperature's right. Because there's a lot of guides on there, and most of them are very good. Like Aquariumax Pets is probably the best resource for isopods, by the way. So I watch a lot of his videos, and they tend to be spot on. But most of the time, you will find with your own colonies there will be slight changes. Things will be slightly different. So you have to stay on your feet. You have to sort of watch them and observe them, because the environment will shape a lot of things, a lot of factors. So that's what I'm doing with our isopods to work out what's best for them. So yeah, let's have some cute footage of isopods on the screen right now, just to round off the video. They're all very adorable species. If you're new to isopods, I'd recommend the Lavis. The Crystal Armadillium is a bit more of a intermediate to hard one, whereas the Klugi are a nice, easy species as well if you're considering getting your own. Again, there will be guides on these guys in the future once I have nailed their husbandry for myself, rather than just relying on other people's information. If you want to see more isopod content, I have plenty of it on the channel. I do love my isopods, but in the meantime, take care and see you later.